Good morning. We've managed to go live on all platforms, I think. I think we're on Instagram. So sorry if you've been missing a couple of the sessions on Instagram. Live on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube and Zoom joining as always. It's Monday morning. Welcome to our session where we'll focus a little bit more on the breath today. But as always, we'll start off and Tom's doing his nice bit stretch there. Always a nice bit of movement just to get the energy flowing for a Monday morning, get us prepared, creating that space for the breath. I've had a really productive but busy weekend and doing lots of walking and running and qigong yesterday and out in the sun. So I'm feeling I need that little bit of, just that little bit of wake up. So we're going to start off with some gentle shaking. Just shaking out the wrists. Freeing up the shoulders and tapping the heels into the ground if you feel you want that little bit more vibration. But again, just go with what feels nice for you this morning. Just a gentle shake, just to kick off the day. And maybe just taking a slightly fuller breath and letting go. And then slowing it down, slowing it down, slowing it down. I did some qigong yesterday with an acupuncturist, an osteopath, and a friend and a colleague, Richard. We did some lovely qigong in the park in the morning during our run, and then also in the afternoon, I was looking at a retreat venue with a couple of coaches. We're planning a retreat in October with Hannah and Lisa, and we did some fascinating stuff. Lisa does sound baths, and she had a crystal. We were doing some qigong with a crystal and the sound. It was absolutely stunning. So I'm very energized today. Just connect the palms to the ground. So just take a moment, just connecting the palms to the ground. Balancing, grounding. And being aware also of the bubbling spring, the ball at the bottom of the foot. And maybe shifting the weight slightly forwards and backwards, just finding that sweet spot. And then bringing palms out to face the front. And pulling down the heavens, breathing in, raising up, breathing out, lowering. Standing a little bit taller as you're breathing in, just sinking a little bit lower, just letting those knees bend as you breathe out. Standing a little bit taller, expanding as you breathe in, softening and sinking and connecting to the ground as you breathe out. Just do one more in your own time. And again, just keeping that connection, palms through to the ground, ball of the foot through to the ground, really grounding. Relax the shoulders, let the shoulders go. Softening the breath in and out through the nose. Bringing one palm up, facing up, and then down the center line. And swapping. Again, feel that distinction as you're expanding, slightly rising and breathing in, and as you're sinking, breathing out. Get that little bit of movement. So stand a little bit taller as you breathe in, sink as you breathe out. So it's not a shoulder movement. We're not doing movements with the shoulders. We're raising the lower down chin. We're raising the bubbling, we're coming up onto the bubbling springs a little bit. And just very soft, light, effortless breathing in and out through the nose. And then just when you're ready, just connecting to the ground again. Bubbling spring, ball of the foot, palm of the hands, a little bit of roundness there in the elbows. And then opening the palms. And having another little bit of a shake, gentle shake. Maybe taking that slightly fuller breath, breathing in and letting go. Slowing it down, slowing it down, slowing it down, and knocking. It's very gentle, no force, moving, center of gravity, not using the shoulders, keeping the spine long. Just make it effortless, gentle movement. Really lift and lengthen from the crown, so we're not crunching the neck. And just keep the visual towards the front. We don't have to go looking around. Just keep it easy. Keep it easy. Really take the shoulders out. No work with the shoulders. Movement coming from that center of gravity. Just let the arms go. Slowing it down. And then taking a little bit of a wider step, not too wide, but just going slightly wider than shoulder width. So we're just going to get a very subtle shift of weight side to side. Now notice when I shift the weight, the pelvis stays parallel to the ground. I'm not doing this. Pelvis stays parallel to the ground. And then just add that little bit of a knocking, just that very subtle weight shift. Spine stays tall, spine stays long. And here we can just do a little bit more of a glance side to side. But again, no work with the shoulders, just keep it effortless. Strength and power is coming from the ground, transferring up the legs, moving that center of gravity, moving the lower dantian. And gradually slowing that down. Walk the feet together a little bit again, and another little shake. Maybe taking that slightly fuller breath. Really release, free up the shoulders, the arms. Back of the neck, the head. And then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Just stand palms facing forwards. Bring the palms face the chest. So we just go, let the elbows relax, let the elbows just drop down. So again, we're taking anything out of the shoulders. Have in mind, thumbs relaxed, index fingers towards it, pointing towards each other. So just have that connection through the index fingers, but without touching. Let those elbows go, stand tall through the spine. Relax the thumbs. Again, play around with the weight shift, so maybe just shifting slightly towards the bubbling spring. Soften the knees, making sure we haven't got locked knees, just soften the knees. Strength and softness, where can we let go a little bit more? Where do we need to be strong? Palms down to the ground, connect to the ground. And then flow, breathing in. Breathing out. No shoulders, use the spine. So think of that spine wave. Shift slightly back towards the heels as you breathe in. Spine lengthens. Slight shift towards the bubbling spring. Standing slightly taller as you breathe in. Get that wave through the spine. Sinking as you breathe out. It's not an arm movement, it's not a shoulder movement. Use the spine, use the whole body. Standing taller as you breathe in, softening as you sink and breathe out. Expanding as you breathe in, softening as you breathe out. At the bottom of that movement, just again connecting to the ground with the palms. Just when you're ready, don't rush. And then palms open. Breathing in, expanding, standing up a little bit taller. Breathing out, sinking and softening, letting go. And then interlocking, just bringing the feet together, stepping the feet together, letting those elbows settle into the sides of the body, just closing your eyes for a moment. And then taking a breath in, stepping out, giving yourself just that gentle brush down. I also got lots of mosquito bites and midges bites yesterday because we were in the forest and in the woods and everything. So I've got a big lump on my head, got mosquito bites all down my leg. So I've been scratching like mad. Take a seat when you are ready and we'll do a little bit of seated breathing. So you can sit on the floor, sit on a chair, wherever feel comfortable, or you can stay standing, but it's good just to give yourself that little bit of support where you're not having to stand and balance. I think inspired by Friday's session with Barbara, I know some of you joined in with that one, which was great, which was all about energy and heart rate variability, and then the working with different coaches over the weekend, some really nice ideas. And I just want to come back to some of the points that Barbara made on Friday. If you didn't watch, that's absolutely fine. We did a lunch and learn at Friday lunchtime, and Barbara was talking about energy, and I thought it was a really nice little exercise that we did just to start that session, where it's just thinking back, reflecting either previous day or in general on things that sort of like energize you, because I think we often think that we get up in the morning, we have a certain amount of energy and then it's gone. We just use that energy throughout the day. But I remember from my Chi running days, we talk about gathering energy on the run, which is something that I always use when you're feeling tired. If you're running or exercising and you have that opportunity to gather energy, you can do it. And it was interesting, some of the answers that when Barbara was asking about what increased your energy and what reduced your energy. And I think what I was fascinated by, and which I expected in a way actually, is things that increased energy. Nature, getting outside, going for a walk, getting out in nature. I think this is a massive thing that makes that big difference and just energizes you. I think a lot of it is to do with the space that you create, that you see that space around where we're not focused in on one individual camera or screen or person. And also just the colors, what we're getting from being outside in nature. So nature was a big thing that I think makes a difference. And also social connection. I noticed there was a few people who came back with that. It's like, oh, I went and saw friends, etc., etc., and that gave me energy. So just have that in mind. It's a nice little exercise to do. Is just, you can write it down, you can sit and think about it. And also then when we're looking at breath, how we can utilize our ability to consciously control the breath to give us energy, to increase energy. So you can upregulate the nervous system, like we've done before, breath of fire, or downregulate the nervous system, calming and relaxing. But just because we're downregulating the nervous system doesn't mean to say that that's sapping energy. So you can create energy by giving yourself that active rest. I'll stop talking now, we'll do some practice. So get your feet in contact with the ground and supported on the surface that you are sitting, and tall through the spine. Again, have a little bit of a shake out if you need a little bit of a shake out. Now I encourage you more and more when we're doing these seated practices not to use backs of chairs or relax into chairs, because I want to get that strength of the spine as well, of the muscles of the spine, because this sits everything in the right place. The head is balanced on top of the spine, the rib cage is balanced on top of the pelvis. I see Yvonne is there on the floor, which is good. So that really gives you a nice tall spine. Here's your strength training. Here's your spine, here's your back strength training. So nice and tall through the spine. Letting go. Where can we let go? Soften the face. Classic place where we hold tension. I think this is another benefit of being out in nature. It helps just to relax the face because you've got a greater perspective. So soften into the brow, soften into the eye sockets, soften into cheekbones and jaw. And always nice to have in mind the inner smile. Tongue position just lightly resting on the roof of the mouth. And then just bringing your attention, your awareness to the air just as it flows softly, effortlessly in and out through the nose. At this point, not necessarily controlling it, just notice how that feels, that physical sensation of the air flowing in and out through the nose. Simple nasal breathing. We're not doing anything. We don't have to pull air in. Just let that air just flow effortlessly, softly, lightly in and out through the nose. Now bringing your awareness into the hips, so low into the body. And see if we can soften into the hips with that breath. Again, I don't want you to start trying to breathe or trying to use any particular muscles to breathe. Just feel the response deep in the lower abs, in the hips. How that responds as you breathe in and as you breathe out. That breath is still very soft, very light, just a very small volume of air. Breathe into the hips, breathe into the pelvic floor, breathe deep. Deep isn't big, deep is a location, not a volume. It's the same thing of where can we let go? Can you let go a little bit more in the hips, pelvic floor? Still keep that spine strong. Bring the awareness now around to the lower ribs on the back and the sides of the lower ribs of the body. So how does that area respond to this very light, soft, effortless breathing? And then bring your awareness to the top of the chest. Think of the top of the lungs, the very top of the lungs, where there's just that very slight expansion and contraction. Nothing's restricted. Nothing is restricting this breath. The rib cage expands and contracts as we breathe, even when we breathe very lightly. And I want you to feel that micro movement of that expansion and contraction as we're breathing very lightly, softly. All the space that you can breathe into without breathing big. And now, just for the final couple of minutes, just consciously slowing the breath. So what you'll notice as you consciously slow the breath is each breath will be slightly greater in volume. So we'll have a little bit more volume, but not too much. And that will give you that opportunity to maybe even find more spaces to breathe into, more expansion as you breathe in, but not big. Keep it very low volume, but see if you can find all those little spaces that you can breathe into. Pelvic floor, lower back maybe, back of the ribs, chest without breathing big, just freeing up and expanding in the chest. And you might want to create a rhythm. I'll let you create your own rhythm. You might decide you want to breathe in for 4 counts and breathe out for 4 counts, or 5 counts, out for 5 counts. But find your rhythm where you can breathe light and slow and deep. Keeping that spine strong, tall through the spine. Letting go where you don't need excess tension, letting go of any excess tension. Light, as in volume, slow, as in really just slowing the breath down deliberately, consciously. And then breathing deeply. And when you're ready, just taking 3 more breaths. And then taking a slightly fuller breath. If you've got your eyes closed, just opening your eyes, have that little stretch, little twist. Nice, excellent. Hopefully that has energized you a little bit for today, got us prepared for the week ahead. Appreciate, as always, you joining me. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you Wednesday morning when we'll do a little bit more balance, bubbling spring stuff, a few more squats, and a little bit more movement. Have a great rest of your day and see you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.